ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it. Taking bad hits, taking bad shit. Subscribe for more things. In the middle, and man, that frustrates me now. Hey, what's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another DC Multiverse action figure review on the DC Multiverse Aquaman movies Collect and Connect Trench Warrior Aquaman. If you're trying to pick this up, you can order it at Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below. I actually did pick this up in Monterey. We wanted to get out of the Bay Area for a little bit, you know, with all the smoke and everything. And I picked this up while we're on our little trip, and I'm very stoked for this Aquaman movie, even though I haven't talked about it too much. I really like that we get a classic look for Aquaman. There's Momoa on the side, and then on the back, you can see the Collect and Connect and the other figures from this wave. And then there's the read-up over here. If you want to read it, go ahead and pause it right now. Now on this side, you could see Aquaman again, and I do like that you can feel the spot varnished DC logo along with all these little shapes going throughout. That's pretty cool. And then not much more at the bottom, so let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's Aquaman out of the packaging. And first off, I gotta say, not bad, Mattel. This is pretty cool. I do like this figure just looking at it. I do have it vanilla posed right here. So, you know, Mattel's been pretty good about sculpt and paint. I do have little gripes here and there on that, but I am mostly impressed with our articulation. The articulation has a lot going on here, so I'm very excited to get into that. But first, let's take a closer look at that Trident, and then we'll take a closer look at Aquaman. And here's looking at the Trident, which I like a lot, especially a lot more than the previous version that we'd seen with the Justice League movie. I mean, this one has a much better design. And it seems from the trailer that he earns this, right? Once he becomes king, then he officially gets the real Trident. So this version right here is a phony or just a random weapon. But looking, you know, at how little detail is going on, and, you know, it's just this flat gray thing, where this has this nice goldish yellow color going on with some orange, and it fades in and out throughout. You get tiny little sculpted areas right over here, which makes me really happy. I love the little attention to details. You can see the orange comes up again towards the end, so that looks really good. I like it. Now he only has one hand where he can hold this, and it's the right hand right there, and it just ports in there very easily. So here's looking at the head sculpt, and I really do like it. I think it looks like Jason Momoa. I think they did a really good job. One thing that does irk me, though, is I wish that they did give it a little bit more of a matted paint finish for the face. His head is very shiny and just reflects light really well, and or a lot more than I'd like it to, because when I'm taking photos, I tend to get these crazy hot spots going on. So, you know, I don't know. Hasbro's got this matted paint thing going on lately that's been really helpful with that, but it would be cool to see that on the DC Multiverse figure, too. But again, there's still a lot of things that I really like about this. I really like the color variation in the hair and in the beard. I like the attention to detail, you know, little eyebrow scar right there. So I think the eyes look good, and I think they nailed the likeness. Comparing it to the Justice League version, which I actually thought was pretty good, but I like this newer one a whole lot more. And this one does have a little bit more of the matted plastic going on, so they've done this before. So yeah, see how the foreheads just don't shine the same way, right? This is a lot shinier, so a lot easier to take photos of, you know, skin tones that aren't reflecting light like that. But speaking of reflecting light, I do like the shiny armor mesh that we see on Aquaman, and this design is just exactly what I'd hoped to see for an Aquaman movie. Now, the whole Lobo look with, you know, and the kind of attitude we're getting from Jason Momoa, I'm still kind of on the fence about, you know. I've talked about people with this many times before, how, yeah, he would have been a great Lobo, and I still think that way, but, you know, it's this version of Aquaman, so I'm still kind of getting used to it, but I do like it at the same time, you know, so I don't know. I'm kind of treading lightly about my feelings on Aquaman, but I gotta say, for the most part, I like this version of Aquaman. On the back of the arms right here, I like these little added pieces, and I love how the gloves look. I mean, all these cool details that we see throughout, that is really awesome. Very nice metallic green that we're seeing right there. I like how the gloves came out. You get the silver in between those joints of the fingers. And again, I just really like how the mesh looks throughout on this guy. You know, these different color oranges mixing in and out. It's just very cool. Love the gold right there for the belt and these little hip guard things. That's pretty awesome. He also has a butt guard. You cover that butt. You don't want to get bumped by a dolphin. Okay, and then you got the front of the figure with that, you know, that whole Aquaman logo. And then I'm also really liking the details that we're seeing on the legs right here too. That is very cool. I like that quite a bit. And looking at the shins right here, that's pretty awesome. I really love this color variation with the greens. nice patterns and designs. Oh man, I think the movie's going to be awesome. I don't know. From what I've seen so far, I really like what I'm seeing. I have a feeling it's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. And he has some pickles at the bottom of his feet right there. Which, by the way, I like these a lot more than the frickin' boots. You know what I mean? Aquaman with boots. That's just so weird to me. So I counted 7 points of articulation on this Aquaman figure that we do not have on the previous version from the Justice League movie. You can still not really move the head that far up, but it feels like you can move it up a little bit more so than the previous version. And you can't move the head down that far. You get side-to-side motion and a little bit of head tilting. Shoulders move outward that far. You can move them down. You can rotate 360. Bicep swivel, single jointed elbow. You get rotation at the elbow. You get a swivel at the wrist, and both wrists hinge up and down. Those are new points of articulation right there. It makes me happy. We get an ab crunch. That is new also, so I'm stoked to see that, or new for Aquaman figures anyway. You get a waist swivel, and then you get hips that move outward very far, and he'll kick forward that much and not back at all. We get thigh cuts. Those are new, and we get double jointed knees, which I'm really happy about. That's new also. I actually forgot about that, so it's actually 9 points of articulation that are new, so that's really cool. Not heel to the butt status, but still good. You get ankles that move down, and you can move them up. You gotta shimmy them, but they'll move up without breaking, so that's cool. And we get ankle pivot. Mattel gave it ankle pivot. Yes, thank you, Mattel. Oh, congratulations. I gotta do this. I'm doing it for Glenn, man. Yeah, there we have it. Aquaman's widest stance possible with both feet still flat on the floor. That's a Mattel figure right there. I can't believe it. That's a Mattel figure. Now to measure out this Aquaman figure, you can see that he is standing just a little under 7 inches tall. And then for your DC Multiverse Aquaman comparison, we have the comic version of Aquaman, and then there's the Justice League version again with no ab crunch. And I cannot find my movie shirtless version. I definitely remember that did not have an ab crunch. So yeah, for movie versions, it's the first time we're seeing ab crunch, not for the comic version that you can see right over there, but this does not have the ankle pivot or the double jointed knees. And I did try to see if I could pop the head off this figure. It would be cool to try to do a head swap over here, or maybe put on, I don't know, maybe a different blonde short hair figure on this just to see what it would look like. I hope at some point they do cut his hair and dye it blonde, you know, and cut the facial hair just to see what it would look like to get a more comic accurate movie version. That would be kind of neat. Then here's the new Aquaman figure next to the 90s version DC UC figure, or is this DC Multiverse? I can't remember off the top of my head, but they have gotten better with this ab crunch. You can see the ab crunch barely moves forward and back on this figure. On this one, we get a lot more range of motion, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Wish I could bend back a little bit more so, but still, it's pretty good. Then here's Aquaman next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Negative Spider-Man. Wow, you kind of had a decent suit before, but then you went back to your stupid classic orange suit. What an idiot! Alright, I'm gonna call one of my dolphins to attack you since you can only talk to fish. I'd like to thank you guys for watching my video. I really do appreciate it, especially when you guys watch these videos from the beginning to the end. It really does help out this YouTube channel a lot, as well as when you hit that like button if you like the video. Leave a comment down below, and please hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell if you have not already. I really like this figure a lot. I've been singing Mattel's praises throughout the course of this video, and I do think there are things that Mattel could still work on. I don't think they've kind of totally hit the mark that I want, but I still really like the improvements that they've been making on these DC Multiverse figures. So I'm really happy with what we're seeing over here. Some things could be a little bit better. I'm giving this a sun rating of... It's not too bad. It gets that rating because it's been fun to pose around. I really like posing the figure around. I like the way it looks. So I gotta say I'm really happy. Cannot wait to see the Aquaman movie. Haven't seen too much of Aquaman with this attire yet, so I can't wait to see more of it. Looks like it's gonna be an awesome movie, so I'm pretty stoked for that. I'd like to know what you guys think, and if you want to stay in touch with me on the social media, you can check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. I have been hosting morning Twitch streams, so if you want to hang out on the live streams over on Twitch, please check it out. Link in the description below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace!
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't. But speaking of...